Okay, so we should have top stitched the hood right side along the seam. We've done that. Then we should turn our hood 1/4 inch down, and then we're going to sew all the way around that. And then it says right here, again, you want to top stitch hood along basting as shown. So it's showing you a picture of how to do that right there. And then after we do all that, we're going to lap the right side of the hood, matching the centers, base for all edges together. So basically it's almost like we're just going to cross it over. So now that we stitch the hood all the way around, we're just going to stitch that right there. Now remember, we have our notches, and that should match our dress neckline, okay, on number 2. So let's go and stitch that right there. Now we should have stitched up our front, back, and pockets together. You should have tried your dress on and made sure if there's any alterations you need to make, does it fit, any adjustments you need to make. So now let's grab our piece number 4. So we're going to grab our piece number 4. Remember to transfer your lines. This is your fold line. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch from here all the way around, leaving this part open. And once we do that, we'll open it up, press it out. And then you're going to fold this part back, because with the hood, we're going to have that fold right here. And then we'll be ready to attach it to our dress. I'm going to stitch mine up, and I will show you the end results once it's stitched. Our hood, it had a fold line. We should have folded, pressed it, pinned it. We're going to go to the machine and stitch it whatever the instructions say. I believe it's 5/8 of an inch, but double check your pattern, because I've already folded mine, and I'm just going to go all the way around. All right. And just keep going all the way around. When you get to this part right here, make sure you take your time, go a little slow, because you don't want to break your needle, depending on what kind of machine you have. 11. It says pin hood to garment and neck edge, match centers and symbols, clipping the garment neck edge where necessary, baste stitch, press seam towards the garment, base seam, allowance in place. And there's a picture of it. So we're just, our 2 triangles that we have right there on the hood and our triangles we had on the number 2 piece in the front, we're going to match that together. And then after we do that, this piece, 11, we're going to go to 12, and we're going to top stitch garment neck edge as shown. So once we have everything all together, again, after we did the baste, we're going to just top stitch it to hold everything in place, and we are almost finished. Remember, when you get to the end, you want to back stitch. And that was a little way off from the end, but you get the idea. Remember, when you get to the end, you want to back stitch. And that was a little way off from the end, but you get the idea. To take the hood and lap I believe the right side over the left side, and then baste it. I'm just going to hand stitch this. I try to do it in green and black so you can see it, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it matches. But I'm just taking needle and thread. I'm doing 2 stitches just to hold it together, nothing fancy. And that's it. I'm going to pull this through. It's kind of hard while I'm doing it with the camera, but pull that through one more time. And all this other stuff that's tangled up thread, I'll straighten that up off the camera. But that's it. So I have about 3 basting stitches, and the basting stitch is just a long stitch just to hold your garment together. You can pin it if you wanted to, but this will be a little bit more secure. Your garment, and we're going to match up the notches with the hood. So I'm just going to take my hood, and this is why I tell you to base stitch it, because if you have pins on it, it may come out. And I'm going to match up my notches on my hood, which is 2 of them. And it's kind of hard to do with the camera, but I'm going to pin it, and I'll do it inside out. Okay, so here's my notch on the hood, And here's my notch on the dress. These two notches are going to be right sides facing, and when you sew all around it, you shouldn't see any stitches until it's time to top stitch. Okay, so now it's time for us to add our sleeve. I've already added my sleeve on my garment because in previous videos I showed you guys how to add the sleeve. So when you have your sleeve, pay attention to your notches. You want to do a base stitch, and with your base stitch you want to pull it and make it fit inside that sleeve. Make it fit inside the sleeve cap. So this is what it looks like when the sleeve is in. It should be nice and smooth with no ripples or puckers. Okay, I'll show you the inside of it. Okay, here's the inside of the sleeve. I already took the liberty and serged everything just to give it that professional look. If you do not have a serger, you can always use a zigzag stitch, and you can always cut off the excess bulk if there is any. Alright, so that's how it should look. Nice, smooth, and clean. Now it's time to put on our sleeve cap. We're going to grab our sleeve band. I called it a cap. I always call things the wrong name. But you guys, grab your piece number 7. And what we're going to do is right sides together. Let me do it this way. Okay, so now that you saw the picture of how your cuff should be, now what we're going to do is just fold it right in half. So if you don't have a serger like I do, then you can just press this seam allowance open, press it open, and then you just want to match it up like this, and then just kind of fold it onto itself. It's impossible for me to do it holding my phone, but I'll show you how it looks once it's folded. Okay, so this is what it should look like. You have your two seams matching each other, and you're just going to slide this right over the end part of your sleeve and sew it on there. If it doesn't fit, do a basting stitch on your sleeve edge and pull it inside to make it fit. You can look at the instructions for more details on this right here. So I'm going to pin it, sew it, and all you have to do is your hem, and we are done. We're going to do our basting stitch for our sleeve to make sure it fits inside the sleeve band. You always want to make sure your machine is set on the highest stitch possible. And I like to keep my needle in a down position. I'm going to sew around the circle, leave the long tails, and pull it to fit into the sleeve band. You're going to do that on both sides. So once you stitched, I've already started pulling. Keep your tails long, and you just want to pull it so the band, the sleeve band, can actually fit right over top of it. So when you insert it and you pull it to the adjusted width, you're just going to stick this inside here, and you're going to make sure it fits, and then you're going to sew all the way around, connecting the sleeve edge, all 3 layers, 1, 2, 3. Make sure you match up. I put a pin right here. This is my seam. You want to keep your seams together, and you want to match this seam up with the only seam that you have in your sleeve, which is the back seam. So you only have one seam in your sleeve, and this is my sleeve right here, my seam. So I'm going to match up those 2 seams to make it fit on there, so that one line can be all the way up. All right, I'll show pictures after I'm done. Okay, so at this point, our dress should be done. All you have to do is do your hem. We did the sleeve band. The last thing was to do your hem. I've already done my hem, and I have it on my craft table. So what I'm going to do now is iron over, give everything a nice, good, crisp final press. Try the garment on, wear it, enjoy it, give yourself a round of applause because you've done it. Okay, this is the way I press my garments. When I completed my garment or complete a garment, and because this is a stretch knit and I need to really put some heat to it, I'll just you can grab a brown paper bag. This is brown wrapping paper. I'll grab that, and I'm just going to show you one hand because I'm holding the phone with the other. And I'll just press over my garment like this so the actual iron or steam is not hitting my fabric. I can't mess my fabric up in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And then because of this kind of fabric that I'm using, this is like a fleece knit. I don't know if it'll work with my steamer, but usually once I construct a garment, finish it, I'll steam it, press it first, and then I'll use my steamer and steam it to give it that professional crisp finish. If you don't have those things, then you can always take it to your dry cleaners, let your dry cleaner press it, steam it for you, and that'll make your garments look so professional. All right, please like, rate, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll have more novice sewing tutorials and advanced and intermediate tutorials as well in the future. Thank you. Bye.